In this problem, we're defining a function named listLength, and it takes one parameter. So I can just start as I would have to with any function. And it takes one parameter, a list of strings. I don't know a great name for that. I'm just going to call it L to remind myself that it's a list. And it has a return value. So this returns a list containing the length of each string. So if they had given me this list, I would return this list, where this 6 comes from the length of Sonoma. This 5 comes from the length of state. So definitely I need to use the len function here. One way to do it would be using our pattern where we grow a list element by element. So I'll say that answer can be the list that I'm growing. And I start off empty. I'm going to return answer at the end. And then I have to grow it element by element in like a for loop, right? Because I have to loop over this L that came in. So I've got a couple different patterns for iterating over loops. I could iterate over the elements, iterating over lists. I could iterate over the elements of a list, or I could iterate over the indices of a list. Since I'm not modifying the list, I don't have a strong reason why I would iterate over the indices. So I'll do the iterating over the elements pattern for x in L. Now L is a list of strings, so x is going to be a string. I'm just going to help myself remember that by calling it S. To say, oh, that's a string. That's a string that was in the list L. Now what do I need to do? I need to figure out what the len of S is, and I need to put it into my list answer, because that's the list of lengths that I'm returning. So I could just do answer.append. The len of S. So the first time through my loop, S would be Sonoma in this example. And so I'm appending the len of Sonoma, which is 6. So I'm appending a 6 into this list. So this seems like a pattern that works. There are possibly multiple ways of doing this, but this reuses that sort of pattern in which we are growing a new list element by element.